Hi.
Hey guys, this is the Smut
Spice
and Everything Life podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Marie.
And today we are reviewing Fourth Wing.
Yes.
By Rebecca Yarros.
Yes.
My very first fantasy.
Y'all, I'm so excited.
Lived up to the hype. If we were doing a underhyped, overhyped, or appropriately hyped, I still think it's underhyped.
Really?
I don't know if it's just because it's my first fantasy.
Maybe.
Or whatever.
It is definitely appropriately well hyped. I knew about Fourth Wing. I've been wanting to read Fourth Wing, but it was always on the back of my mind to do. Yeah. I was like, it's so popular. And there's so many good reviews. It's probably just one of those, like a TikTok, like just to hype you up.
Overhyped book talk book.
Yes, I just thought too many people promoting it, but not real reviews. And man, was I so glad I was wrong, because I immediately read the next one.
The only thing I have to say negative about fantasy in general, because I know there's like a way you have to go about it. In the first few chapters, I was like...
I was also going to say that.
This is not my jam. I understand they have to build to build on things. I get that, but I was like, damn.
No, I was the same way. I was like,
this isn't my jam.
It started out where it kind of drug for me.
Yeah.
But then it was like I kept reading because we're doing this podcast, so I kept reading, and then I don't know what happened, but I couldn't stop.
Yes.
It was like it just hit me, and I just had to keep going and keep going and keep going. So whatever point that was, I have no idea what point it is because it just happened, but it was like I couldn't stop.
I agree.
And y'all, I look rough. My back went out, so I look rough. I'm in sweats. So if I look funny, it's because I can't really move all that well. So don't judge me.
That's what happens when you have 80-year-old friends.
Oh. Low blow. Low blow. That's what happens when you get epidural by somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, I will say today we do not have an outline. We are going with the flow.
Okay, I told her I wanted to do this because she's never read a fantasy before. And we did not talk about this book at all. And I was like, no, save it for the podcast.
The only thing we have talked about
is how much we liked it.
Well, how much we've liked it. And over text, you'd be like, I'm bawling. Last night, I was like, okay, I'm crying. And when I say I was crying, I'm not talking like still beating, bawling my eyes out. I had tears. Like, I was tearing up. But I wasn't like bawling. And we'll get into why we were crying in a minute.
I can't, y'all. I cried twice.
I don't even know what you cried about the first time because I was like, what is this bitch crying about? Am I cold-hearted?
Odell.
Who?
Isn't her name Odell? The one that fell off the cliff.
Was it Arlie? I'm pretty sure it was Arlie. That's where you cried?
Yeah, when she fell. Because she was strong and
she was so excited about the parapet.
Yes, so for her to fall and then for you to see your friend fall who encouraged you to push harder and showed you what to do, and the thought of one of the stronger characters falling. I don't know. It was her friend and just the
I get it.
eye contact.
I know why you cried. It was traumatic for her and it was sad, but I didn't cry on that one. Now, let's talk about first impressions.
Okay.
What was your first impression of Mira?
I love her because she's focused on war, but she has that compassion and the love for her sister that she went against regulations to protect her.
Yes. Okay. So Mira, for me, I felt like was Violet's mother, basically. Because it seemed like Violet's mother didn't give a shit about her. Immediately, I didn't like her mother.
Oh, yeah.
And immediately, I loved Mira for trying to protect Violet.
Then you find out later that Violet, Mira, and Brennan, all three of them were so close, but Violet was the little sister. Mira and Brendan were very close. And, Violet was just kind of in the background with her dad. But when Brennan died, that's when Mira was like, at all costs, I need to protect my sister. But I just felt like because she was so focused on the war that she didn't allow herself to see it. She believed everything that they told her. She was brainwashed. But she wanted to protect her sister because she did not want to lose another sibling.
Seems like all of them were.
The whole community was.
What was your first impression of Dane?
I wanted to like him, but he pissed me off because he immediately went to say that she wasn't strong enough.
We're right there.
I'm just like, she made it across something that how many others died from? But she made it. Not only did she make it, but she has such a kind heart that she gave up one of her shoes to another.
One of her competitors, basically. At this point, they're not on the same team. Like, they're just basically qualifying to even get
survival
into this
mode.
place.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because of Mira, she knew the shoes to wear. She had protective gear that saved her countless times.
Rhiannon would have not made it had it not been for her.
No, and that's what she said. So that to me, I was just like, I can get behind Violet. Because to take off one of your shoes, to exchange it with somebody else, just so they could have a fighting chance.
She had such a pure heart and regard for others' lives that she's hard not to love at all.
And you have to remember that she is one of the weakest people around her.
Physically.
Yes.
Mentally?
I was going to get that. Physically. I mean, she was mended throughout her entire life because of how easily her bones broke. And she was very petite. She was like the smallest one out of all of them. But she made it across. And the first thing out of Dane's mouth is, what are you doing here? And then immediately tries to send her off to the scribes. He sounded hot, though.
Dane immediately pisses me off because you can tell he doesn't believe in her at all. I get they were childhood best friends and he wants to protect her.
He saw and witnessed all of her health issues. And that was his last connection to his home. So I get why he wants to. At the very beginning, it pissed me off, but I understood his motivations to try to save her. The continuation of it
at
pissed
that
me
point,
off.
I was like, okay, well, if this is his only attempt to get her to leave, okay.
Yes.
And she fights him on it, and she's like, this is where I'm going to be because my mother will not accept me to be anywhere else.
She'll find me.
And she'll bring me back, kicking and screaming.
Real quick, back onto her mom. I know that you hate her mom, and I don't like her. I get her role, though, as, being in the military, being a general, and having to be strong at all times. And the fact that she lost her love of her life, which was a scribe. But her mom complimented Violet and told Mira that if anybody ever had a chance of passing, it would be Violet because she deals with pain every day.
Sure, we'll give her points for that. But it's her lack of concern for her children's lives, especially Violet. I feel like it's because that her husband babied Violet and wanted her to walk in his footsteps.
You didn't feel like something was off later on in the book that her mom was in on something?
Oh, absolutely.
Along with her dad?
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I feel like that's why her mom was like that, because hundreds of people, if not thousands, have targeted her children just for the simple fact of their last name.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's something, because her facial expressions would slip.
I felt like there was something up with her mom from the very beginning. Just her lack of regard for her kids' lives. You're putting your weakest child through the school where the kids die.
Hold on a second. Before she even gets to the school.
Yeah.
You're putting child through this trial of pure determination that she only had, 6 months? When Mira
trained her entire life.
Yes.
You're putting your weakest child with 6 months of preparation to go through a school where they can die on the qualifying day.
And then, then to graduate from the first year, you're put up against dragons? For dragons to either kill you, deny you, or
if you
speak
look
to
at
you.
them the wrong way, they're gonna breathe fire on you and incinerate you.
I will say she has got the heart of a warrior like no other.
Oh, yes. And it's because of her compassion for others
that makes her fight so hard.
I mean, multiple people tried to kill her, and she didn't want them to die, knowing they'd try again.
I can't say that. Jack! Hate Jack! Hate him!
From the very first chapter he was
up
in.
Against the steps, like as walking, Soaring Gale, I'm coming for you.
after he just pushed somebody to their death.
She went first. Then a boy was behind her, and then it was Jack.
Yeah.
And Jack was like, I'm coming for you, Sorendale.
And he pushes the boy off the cliff.
Why? Why do you have to have that much hatred in you? Y'all, real quick, our next podcast, I'm just going to jump ahead real quick. Our next podcast, because I love this book so much and now I've got her addicted, we're going to do the next 2. So we're going to do book 2 and book 3 in our next podcast.
We usually don't complete a series, but we want to do those. We love it that much. Jack, yeah. I hated Jack from the very first chapter. I knew he was going to be a problem.
Most definitely.
But I kind of loved that, wasn't it Xaden that saved her from him? And Xaden is supposed to be her enemy. I love me a good enemies to lovers. I was Team Xaden from the first
eye contact?
Eye contact.
Girl, me too.
I was like, #toxic men for life. I want to talk about the way he looked and the way she looked. So, I don't know why I didn't imagine them to be more fantasy-like, but I just thought they were going to look normal. But then she starts describing herself, and she's like, I've got this dark to silver hair. I've got, what color are her eyes? Like ice blue or something?
Yeah, what are you talking about? They were human-looking.
Not their traits, like not their hair, not their eyes, not their scars. Their scars were like silver.
No, that's only Xaden's, because she even mentions why is his scars silver.
She says that where Jack cut her, her scar turns silver after it heals.
Did I completely miss that?
That's what I picked up from it. Xaden's scar on his eyebrow and across his eye is also silver. I thought all their scars healed silver.
Wow, I completely missed that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because that's what I picked up.
I completely missed that. When he
said something about the scar on her arm where she got slashed by Jack, I'm pretty sure, he referred to it as the silver scar down her arm. Huh. Because she said something about Taryn didn't scar her, like Sigale had scarred Xaden, and he said maybe it's because Taryn already knew you had the scar, and he says something about it being the silver scar down her arm.
They say a lot of times that the dragons will scar them, but not all the time. And she mentioned that it was weird that she didn't get scarred. He said because he knew you had scars already. But I guess I completely missed that, but
it makes me want to go back and look because I'm pretty sure.
No, I believe you.
I expected them to look more human, but I've never read a fantasy like this.
They do look, everything
they
about them.
They look human, but they have like her hair goes from
That's
dark
only her.
To silver.
That's only her. That's why he calls her the silver one. It'll grow out every time. It doesn't matter. It'll transition to that color. But it's only her. That's why they outcast her. And that's how everyone knows who she is, because she's known for that hair.
And Xaden's eyes are like dark with these gold flecks.
Okay, I read more fantasy, so to me,
what I'm saying, like,
and maybe it is because to me that I'm like, yeah, they're human, so much more human than the
very first fantasy for me. So I'm just
than other ones where there's wings and horns and scales,
elf ears.
I love me a good face, and I love me some wingspan. You know, ladies, wingspan does matter. Or gentlemen, doesn't matter.
I saw that it was going to be Xaden that she was attracted to and not Dane early on. Because when they set it up, it just says how gorgeous he is. Mm-hmm. You already know that she's attracted to that. She talks about Dane, and she thinks that she's going to fall in love with Dane.
She is attracted to Dane. She wants Dane.
Has always been.
Yes. She wants Dane because...
So I'm thinking at first, I'm like, this is going to be a love triangle, which it kind of is, because she loves Xaden and Dane loves her.
Actually, I feel like that triangle went...
It did. It started as a triangle, and then it was like...
That triangle went...
Like, no.
Xade loves Violet. Violet loves Dane. Dane loves Violet, but Dane's an ass. Then Xaden
doesn't
empowers her, I guess. Like, he pumps her up. Like, he motivates her.
He gives her the confidence she needs. He supports her the way she needs it. He trains her. He helps her. What does Dane do? He basically degrades her. You're not good enough. You're gonna die. You can't do this.
Let me help you get out. You're all I have, Violet. I can't lose you. It's all about him.
I'm still so confused about his obsession with she needs to be gone. Like, she's there. She's staying. Get over it. help her.
Because in his mind, what they've always been told is that dragons like strong, violent people, and she is not that. But I love Zayden's nickname, Violence.
I was just about to say that. I love that he calls her Violence.
Yes. Because every bit of her strength he sees. He sees how much she thrives and she tries and she wants this. You know, regardless of the reasonings that he is actually helping her.
He saw it when he stopped Jack.
Oh, sorry.
On the parapet. He saw it because she was getting feisty with Jack on the parapet.
He said he wasn't expecting her to be as quick as she was. When he comes off and she holds the knife to his balls. He said, you know, you're quicker than I would have thought, Sorengale.
I think in his mind, like, he's like, gives her that nickname then. Like, she's violent.
Yes, but remember the reasoning why he said he fell for her. One of the many reasons.
Well, it was different scenarios.
Yes, but he said when he first noticed that she gave up her shoe for someone she didn't even know, just to try to help somebody out, he knew that she wasn't her mother.
Yes. I'm thinking it was her strength.
It was the kindness.
But
she had strength, but she had kindness. She wants to help those who can't help themselves.
Even though she's so little, she's feisty.
That's what he tells her. He's like, you can't bulldoze a bulldozer. You have to use the strengths that you have. You're small. Go for the spots that you can reach. Go for the kidneys. You could have hit me here, here, and here, but instead you're trying to flip me over and I'm 3 times your size. Use your strengths to your advantage.
You're right. That's where he was first attracted to her.
I love how he calls out Dane.
Which time?
On the mat when he was like, how about you stop protecting her and help her, teach her. And then right after that, he's like, you've got to go. The big trial is next. You have to leave. This is your last chance. Every time.
That's my whole problem with Dane. He doesn't want to help her. No, he just wants to coddle her.
Mm-hmm.
And that drives me nuts. If you want her to live, help her. Like Zayden does.
Yeah, he does.
And I love Rhiannon. She's such a good friend. I'm so scared she's going to die. Don't tell me. Shut up. I'm moving on. First kiss with Dane. I was so glad when she was like, there's nothing. There's no sparks. I don't even want to kiss him again.
Right? She's like, ew.
Which is not what you expect, because up until that point, she's got this strong attraction to him. She wants there to be, she's like this doe-eyed girl.
She had already been falling out with him.
Because of how he was treating her. Yep. And because of his loyalty to the fucking rules. He wouldn't bend a rule to save his best friend, who he's supposedly in love with.
Moment of truth. Do you remember where it was? Or Zayden called him out.
There were so many times that he called him out.
No, I'm saying the time where her face falls and she accepts it for what it really is. That
are we talking about
Dane is never going to change?
When Dane didn't believe her?
No. Okay. So whenever all 3 of them are like yabbing along or whatever, and Zayden tells Dane, because Dane's like, the rules, and he said, would you have stopped those 3?
We're talking, okay, yes.
During the final trial.
The dragons picking them. Dane wouldn't have broken those rules. Zayden was ready to step in.
Yeah. You have the top people, you have your squad leader and your wing leaders and all that, and they're able to watch, observe. They cannot step in, they can't do anything during their final trial of whether a dragon will accept them or turn them away or eat them, kill them, whatever. So Jack and 2 other people are going to kill the golden dragon.
Orin and Tynan.
So anyways, those 3 have decided that the little yellow, measly, weak dragon had to go. So instead of finding their dragons, they're going to hunt this dragon down. And of course, Violet sees it, and she's like, I can't let them do this. It's not right. She's outnumbered. I have a question. She's out-muscled. She doesn't know what she's doing, but if she can get to that dragon first and get it to go,
she can save it.
That's all she's worried about, is saving the dragon. So they get on the field, and she's like, no, I'm not going to let you do this. But the dragon's just looking at her. Like, what you going to do? Dragon has
You're tiny, and what are you going to do for me?
The dragon has no claws, can't breathe fire.
She's got paws.
Yes.
This is so cute.
And you find out later more stuff, but I'm not going to ruin that. So she just sits there looking at her, cocking her head in that serpentine way. And they come out and they're going to kill her. So she's fighting. She's like, anytime you want to fly away.
Or use your claws. You don't have claws, you got paws. Okay. Your teeth would work. Or you could just fly away. Wait a minute. Can you even fly? Can you breathe fire? Do something.
So the dragon does nothing.
Watch it.
She's going up against these three guys. And Xaden's there. She sees him. But she knows he can't do anything. So my point of saying all this was because Xaden took one step before the black dragon Terran comes.
Because he was going to break the rules to save her. And Dane would have never.
So Dane was accusing Xaden of stepping in and going to be calling a trial against him. And he said, do you ever think that maybe his mate called for him to come? Talking about Terran, the black dragon? Yes.
So Gale told Terran that Andarna and Violet were both in danger. And Xaden's freaking out about it.
Well, it was Andarna that she was really worried about because she had a soft spot for her.
Yes.
But Xaden was like, would you have stepped in? And Dane's like, no. And then he immediately turns to Violet. The rules, Violet, the rules. She held her composure and she said, it's fine. I understand, Dane. But that, to me, was the turning point where she was like, I can't look at you like that.
Yep.
I can't. I feel nothing towards you. You kissed me and I feel nothing towards you.
Even though Dane has regard for her life, him not breaking the rules to save her just puts me off. Like, I'm out. I have a question.
Yes.
Let's go back. When they're talking dragons, I thought Andarna was going to be her dragon. The little gold dragon. I'm like, it's perfect. She's little. The dragon's little. It's perfect. And then it's like, Andarna can't even protect herself, much less carry you, because she's so little.
Y'all.
Why was Andarna there?
I can't tell you.
I didn't miss that. You just find it out later why Andarna was even there.
Well, no. Andarna says it in the book. She's like, I was trying to save you. She said, or was I saving you?
But I'm talking there to do bond anyway.
Terran. She stayed there so Terran would come. Terran chose her because she was willing to sacrifice herself for a measly dragon that couldn't defend herself.
So that was Terran's trial.
No, that was Andarna's trial. And Terran... Andarna is so smart, y'all. Okay? She is wise beyond her years. That was Andarna's trial for her. Terran chose her, but so did Andarna.
But my point is, Andarna is so young, she should have never went to be bonded.
Yeah.
But she's a little turd.
Uh-huh.
Okay, whatever. When Terran comes up, I'm like, there's no way she's about to bond to this big-ass dragon.
And then he starts talking to her, and she's like,
And I'm like, oh, that's your dragon, baby.
I love him. When she's like, you don't want me. I'm weak. I'm strangling, whatever. And he's like, I think it's funny how you are telling a dragon what
I want.
They want and don't want. And she's like, but
dragons
cunning, the strongest, the most cunning, whatever. He was like, he said, I chose you for your mind and your loyalness and something else, is why he chose her, because she was willing to sacrifice herself. And I'm like, I do love him. And then Andarna starts talking and she's like,
why can't I hear you?
She's like, didn't they tell you don't talk to a human that's not your rider? You don't talk to them.
That's against the rules.
She's like, you tell them my name.
When she bonds to two dragons, I was like, oh my god.
How much did you love her tattoo that they gave her?
I can't remember what it was.
It was the big dragon and the little dragon.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved
and it was her entire
back.
Yes.
I loved it. I also loved her and Terran's commentary.
I love them.
And she's like, get out of my head. I love her love for Andarna.
Oh my gosh, yes.
She loves Terran. Andarna is her baby.
Did you expect Andarna
to be a baby? No. I just thought she was a tiny little
thing.
I knew there was something up with her. There was going to be something special about her. But I didn't expect her to be a baby. I was really concerned when she couldn't keep her seat on Terran. I'm like, bitch, what are you going to do? And then Xaden makes her a saddle. Because Terran wanted it to be made.
Terran told him what to make and how to do it. And then she's like, I can't believe you let him do this. And he said, don't be ridiculous. I would not let a human
make decisions for me.
Or to put anything on me that I could not do myself.
Oh,
and she's like, so you can put this on and off? He's like, of course.
And then they make the little attachment for Andarna. I need to back up a little bit, because when she sneaks out to get the berries to poison her. Let's
Smart.
talk about this for a minute. How she poisons every single one of her competitors. And then Zayden's like,
okay, how did none of the professors realize this?
I mean, Zayden did.
Yeah, Zayden. I get that.
I feel like the professors did, but they are like, I mean, that's a smart move, so.
I would hope so, but it's just like they are oblivious to it, is the way it makes out in there.
They do make it. I mean, they have to have known. But I feel like they overlooked it. And when she's out there getting the berries and she sees Zayden meeting with these people, she's like, oh my god, he's going to see me, he's going to kill me. And when he doesn't kill her, he actually gives her advice. Yeah, this is our turning point.
Dude, how impressed were you with her knife skills?
Dude.
When she flicked them.
I already knew that she was a badass when she could just flick a dagger.
And he said, you missed. She's like, did I? Or maybe you should back up. And then he backs up and it's like right there.
She's badass. That was his turning point of showing her that he wasn't going to kill her. He wasn't admitting that he felt anything for her, but he wasn't going to kill her. Because he would have.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you really? Because you don't have an I agree face. You have a little I know more than you face.
For this book's purposes, I felt the same way.
Okay.
I felt the same way that was his turning point. But I also felt like he wanted to keep her at arm's length. Like,
he didn't want to feel anything for her.
Yes.
But he didn't want to kill her.
Because I feel like that was everybody's plan. Like, Asoria was there. We're going to get even with her mom. You took our parents. We're going to take your daughter.
It would have been hard for me, from Zayden's standpoint, to have not held a grudge on her for her mother.
Zayden was the first one from the rebellion's kids. He was the oldest of the rebellion group. So,
because you find out that he took responsibility for 107 kids. You want to talk about compassion? It says that he is ruthless and doesn't care, but the fact that he took on the responsibility for 107 kids from the rebellion tells you all you need to know. And I think, which I'm sure of, that Violet's seen that too. She's like, if you can bear the responsibility for all these kids, you care.
You're seen it underneath the tree. Because she said, I don't see anything wrong with this when you're trying to help these kids that no one else is going to help. Yes, you have 3 or more of the rebellion kids together, which is illegal. It's punishment by death. But I don't see how it's wrong when you're trying to help them.
Yeah. What he was really doing was he was getting those 3 kids together so that the guy that sees things, if there's 3 or more rebellion kids with a relic, he couldn't see what was going on with them. And that's why he says he likes to lay eyes on Zayden. Because if he can lay eyes on Zayden, he knows what's going on. So General Milgren can't see what's happening if 3 or more rebellion kids with the relic gather.
So, you notice we're in a different spot. We had to take a pause.
We had to do motherly things. But we're back now in a different location. But we're going to keep going. We're talking about the ball.
Right. Yeah. So, every time Zayden gets the rebellion children together, Milgren can't see what's happening.
Hence the rule that if 3 or more get together, they are called in for treason and are murdered. And it voids
the agreement they have. So, after she bonds with Taryn and Andarna, I love...
Now we're going backwards.
I mean, a little bit. We've been all over the place. I mean, we do need to talk about that, but I love... It's Kyle before she figures out that Zayden can talk to her.
Yeah.
In her head. What does he say? Because I was like, what?
I can't remember when it happens, but it's just like a quick...
They're in a crowd of people, and he's like, you need to control your face before someone asks what's going on.
So much for just winging it, not taking notes.
I mean, I should have. That's what I just saw. It says, the dragon's giant nostrils flare. You're bleeding. Stop it. It's not that simple.
So I love how he cares so much for her, but then he's like, you are a petty human that means nothing, and I am a dragon. I know this is jumping, but did you not get emotional when Taryn said, I chose you not as something, but as my last?
It's bothering me. I need to know what he says.
Andarna. When she was like, something about, we can take a snack. He said, we Do not snap on our allies. Fine. I'm a little shit. I love her.
She's like a little toddler. So they leave the ball after Dane distracts them so she can get out of there.
Yeah. Because she has never liked the balls and stuff that she was drugged to with her mom being in the position that her mom was in.
They basically just went, made an appearance, and left. And that's when you find out Melgren can see everything except for when 3 or more rebellion kids are together. And she's just like, I'm bad out. And she goes to find Zayden on the cliff.
It was noted by Melgren about all of them being seen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she later on finds out why. And Liam, she's like, you did not have to come to this with me. And he's like, no, it's fine, it's fine. And I think because at least one of them showed their face anyways, there really wasn't a find them kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then even Dane was there to kind of smooth it over too. Yeah. He was like, gave her an excuse to leave.
So to backtrack, my favorite thing.
The first time Zayden was in her head. And when was it during?
When they flew out to, we are all over the place. They flew out and she saw Mira at that place where Rhiannon's family was from. Here it is. She says, don't be a dick. And in her head, he says, you haven't even seen me start to be a dick. My head turns so fast that it swims, and my mouth drops open as I stare at the side of Zayden's face. That was his voice. In my fucking head. He turns the golden flecks in his eyes catching the light, and I swear I hear him laughing in my head. Though his lips are closed, tilted in that pulse-quickening smirk of his. You're staring. It's going to get awkward in about 30 seconds if you don't stop. How? The same way you talk to Sigale. We're all gloriously, annoyingly linked. This is just one of the perks. Though, I'm starting to wish I had tried it sooner. The look on your face is priceless.
And then he winks. What is it about guys winking? Man, I love a good sarcastic wink.
Fucking winked. I love it.
I love all of their
the commentary in her own head. I love it.
You want to know what I love? Is that she can't even get a moment's peace in her own head.
In her own head.
Gale will say stuff to her, like just randomly, and it throws her off because she doesn't ever say anything to her. Or it's Taryn, or Zayden, or Darda. All of them. They will all make comments, and she's like, get out of my fucking head. Can I get 5 fucking minutes?
Taryn's like, then learn how to block me out.
Yeah. At one point, he's like, I live for hormonal humans. He's like, I would love for you to be able to block me out.
Because she's always thinking about Zayden.
Always.
He says something about, like, what about that precious wing leaders? And she's like, oh, get out of my head. Stop reading my thoughts about Zayden.
There's one point he said, oh no, that's in the next book. Which I'll just say it, but he said something about her dreams, and she's like, can you see my dreams? He's like, he pretty much says, I have enough commentary during the daytime. The last thing I want is your fucking dreams too. He's like, now go back to sleep.
Okay, let's talk about when Sigale and Taryn get it on.
Fucking A, talk about, I didn't know 2 wizards could be hot.
I thought she was getting her signet power. I thought when it started,
I didn't. I thought
she was like, like things are burning, and then like when she walked out the door, she's like, I gotta get out of here. She's basically like, I need to fuck anything. Anyone will do. She goes out the door and she sees Liam, and she's like, have you always been that tall?
And she's like,
he's like, are you okay?
And then she's like,
no.
She's like, you're not who I want. She's like, what the fuck is happening to me? And then of all people, he's out there
outside
smoking
something
illegal
that seems similar to pot, like
yeah. And she walks over, and he offers it to her, and she's like, that's illegal. He's like, it calms what's going on. He's like, you'll learn to block it. And she's like, I need you to teach me.
I need you to teach me, or I need you to give me your dick.
She's like, oh. And what is up with the lip, like the breath away from each other when they're like this close?
I think they're just so drawn to each other in that moment.
Like, just fucking kiss!
Well, they're fighting it, and she doesn't know if he wants it, and he's fighting it because he does want it with her, and she's not sure if he wants it, so they're just both like,
So far, I'm so glad our books are consensual, because he's like, I don't want to take advantage of you. She's like, you're not, just do it.
But he thinks just because she's feeling all this coming from the dragons,
and the next day she said that it would have been a mistake, so he was right.
It would have been a mistake because
he doesn't fuck first years.
Funny. Because he's her wing leader, I think is her reasoning. Not because she didn't want it.
Yeah, sure, that's it.
That's what I got out of it. Because she obviously wants it. All she does is think about it.
Well, he said that you're just wanting this because of what you're feeling through them. Mm-hmm. Because of the bond.
But it's not. I mean, it is. She could have fucked Liam. I mean, she wanted to saw out.
She saw out coldness, and Zayden just happened to be there. But I think she subconsciously did seek him out.
Yeah. I think she was being drawn to him. Yeah.
But again, in his mind, it wasn't consensual.
Because she was under the influence of lust from the other dragons.
She was under some horny hormones. And all I know is if I was to have touched him and grabbed onto him, he wouldn't have said no.
When I was listening to that, I was like, they're gonna fuck.
Right.
Finally, they're gonna fuck. Oh, and then they kiss. Oh, and then they walk away. And I'm so mad. That they walk away. I'm like, you know what?
That buildup. I was pissed. I felt her pain.
Okay.
Don't build me up and tear me down.
I'm the type of person, like, if I want it, I'm not gonna stop. Story time. Because the first time me and Garrett were together, like, started dating, we had sex.
I told you my story with John.
Well, then you can relate.
Yes, because I felt like the biggest whore on the planet. But he threw me over his shoulders and said I wasn't leaving. I was like, okay. When you get carried over your shoulders and then tossed on a bed, I'm staying.
We started dating. We went on a date. Came back to my house. We were hanging out. We were making out on my bed.
At least you knew him. I had met Josh for the first time ever. Well. Yeah.
You're married now, so it doesn't matter.
I know. And that was 3 times that night.
Garrett thinks he's gonna go downtown, right?
Okay.
And that's gonna be it. No. I'm like,
build up.
I'm like, he's like, thinking we're done. I'm like, we're not done. We're fucking right now. He's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking serious. You don't just do that and then not. Like, I was just like, stick your dick in me. Because what the fuck? He may not have gotten me off that way that night. But yeah, we were both young.
Yeah.
He can get me off just doing that now.
And
anyway, Zayden's pretty good at it too.
Let me just tell y'all, the build up to these scenes.
I don't know if it's the scenes themselves or if it's the anticipation waiting on it to happen, but when it happens, it's not even that descriptive.
Yeah, it's not descriptive, but the fact of what's happening, you can picture it in your head, and the fact that they are demolishing everything. The armoire, the desk, the everything.
And then when they do it in his room, his whole window
explodes. And she doesn't even know. He's like, that's why he flipped me over. She to protect me.
She said, why is there a cold breeze in here?
And how sweet is his signet and her signet that he can stop her signet from expanding.
She can't control hers, but he can protect her from it.
And others, for that matter.
Yeah.
So just the thought of furniture and windows and stuff breaking, it just makes you know what's going on. And he really enjoys down there.
Yes, he does. And that's what got me.
And then he's like, that's 3. And I'm like,
and she's like, let's go for 5. Damn.
She's like, well, at first she's like, huh? And he's like, that's 3.
Do you need me to keep score? I tease as my ass hits the end of the bed. Feel free.
He grins a second before his mouth is between my thighs.
Looking and swirling around my clit.
Oh, gods.
Which one are you calling out for? He asked against my flesh. Because it's just you and me in this room, and I don't share. You. My fingers tangle in his hair. I'm calling out for you.
I appreciate the elevation to deity, but my name will do.
He licks me from entrance to clit, finally flicking his tongue over the sensitive bud, and I moan.
Fuck you, taste good.
Oh! I don't know why I like it when they comment on their taste.
As long as it's not creamy.
What book was that?
Ryan Rule.
Oh, yeah.
What's it? Yes. Because all of them were like, she's milky, she's creamy.
It's so weird.
But see, that's fine. Licking, tasting, nibbling, all that's good. Good. It's all good.
I love to read that part. There was another part that I was just dying.
And the way he loves her.
And he hasn't even admitted it yet.
Yes, and how he's so patient with her.
He's the worst kind of addiction. Dangerous and impossible to save. I'd be addicted to that too. I'm just scanning what I screenshotted because I was like, fuck, these are good pages. I might want to read this later. I might want to read it in the podcast. Tell me to stop, he whispers, his thumb skimming the hypersensitive skin of my inner thigh. Don't stop. Fuck, Violet. Never mind. That is how I want him to say my name from now on. Just like that. I just...
Stop being so fucking honorable and fuck me, Zayden.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Stop asking permission.
Right? Yank my hair, flick my titties, and fuck me.
It might damn us both, but I can't wait to feel you come around my cock. Man, these sex scenes, they may not be descriptive like they are in Ryan Rule and some of the other things we've read, but fuck, they're hot.
I'm telling you.
I just don't know what it is about this book.
And then, at one of the parts, at the end, when she gets mad and he said, I know you love me. How does he say it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember, but pretty much saying that, doesn't matter what you say, I know you love me, and I'm not going to let you stop, or something like that.
I found it. Because he says, I fell for you. And you know what? You might not trust me anymore, but you still love me. And then he said, you still love me. It's possible. I'm not afraid of hard work, especially not when I know just how sweet the rewards are. I'd rather lose this entire war than live without you. And that means I have to prove myself over and over, and I'll do it. You gave me your heart, and I'm keeping it.
I love me some Vader.
Me too. He's my book husband.
When you get into the next book, you fall in love with him that much more. And well, I'm not telling you any details, but he's freaking everything. You know how you love that dark, dangerous man who is only sweet and kind to you?
Yeah.
He's just so, yummy. He's perfect. Well, because we need to wrap this up. How did you feel about the ending when she finds out the secret?
Oh my gosh.
That they're smuggling.
Well, okay. First of all, I texted you and I was like, if Zayden is a traitor, I'm done. I'm done.
But how do you feel about her going along with it?
Okay, so
this is what pisses me off, because he tells her he can't tell her stuff.
Yeah, but she gets mad anyway.
That's what pisses me off about her. It's like, you can't shield. And you're getting pissed off because he's not being honest with you.
He can't.
He just fucking told you he can't. Like, back up.
Okay, so a few things. When they killed the guy that had the power to read minds because it was too dangerous, I knew something was up. When she wouldn't let Dane touch her to read her mind, and I figured out what his signet was. It was, touch to read, see the memories or whatever.
We already knew that.
I know, but
okay.
I'm jumping back.
Okay.
Because Zayden says something to her about, did Dane touch you? And she's like, yeah, but he always does that. She doesn't even realize that he's reading her mind. Okay. But I thought it was weird that he touched her when he was saying goodbye.
Right.
Okay. And then when she finds the book of fables and it has the letter from her dad, I'm like, the fables are going to be real.
Yep. I thought the same thing, because she couldn't find the book again.
There's so much foreshadowing.
She couldn't find the book, a copy of it.
But
and I was like,
when she couldn't find them,
and it's like, did your daddy die or was he murdered?
yes, it just goes to show how much they've done to cover this up. And why? Just to keep your community safe? Just to keep everyone there brainwashed?
Does this sound a little familiar of what's going on in our world? I'm not getting into that. I'm just saying.
You're not wrong. Whatever. When they're in the meadow or whatever, and he says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and she's like, "What?" And then you hear the female voice saying, "A soaring gale." Oh my God, fuck. It's all about to unravel. And it does. And she says, "Venom," and I'm like, oh my God, the fables are fucking real. The fables are real. And she's like, no, there's no way. And then she gets on the back of Taryn and she's like connecting the dots. And she's like, oh my God.
She's like, you knew.
And
he fucking knew. And
she
didn't
was
say anything.
so pissed. She was so hurt.
And that's when they all knew. She felt betrayed by everybody. All of them knew.
I get it.
I also get it. But
I feel like she should cut them all some slack. Like,
oh, I do too. And that's what I'm saying. She acts like she's entitled to all of this knowledge, to all the secrets.
Yeah.
But you can't protect yourself, so no, you're not. Plus, you haven't proven completely your loyalty.
I mean, she did keep secrets for Zayden, but this goes further than Zayden.
Yes. And then she says she understands and she keeps pushing him for more. I understand, but you keep pushing for more.
Right.
And it's like, if you understand, back off until you're able to fully do what's necessary.
Yeah, she's pretty good at picking things up, other than physical stuff. Like, I feel like she does good with the footing when he teaches her. She catches on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she's good at that stuff, but at the same time, like, you need to understand. I get irritated with her because she's so pissed at him for keeping the secret.
Like I said, she feels like she's entitled to everything, and to me, she's not. She's not entitled to all of this because she hasn't earned the right for it, because there's more to it than just her, and it's for the good of all of these people suffering. But it's like, if you understand that, then why do you keep pushing? Because you're putting innocent people at danger.
Yeah.
But it's like she doesn't care because she feels entitled to it. And that's what pisses me off about her.
Okay. Let's talk about the war games where they sent him to die.
And he said, I'm going to miss you. I was like, she's so freaking oblivious. You gonna die, bitch. That's what I was thinking. He set you up.
I thought it was weird when he touches her face and then he says, I'm going to miss you. I was like, he knows something's going to happen. Why else would he have said that? Yep. And she just is like, oh, whatever. Not gonna be going along. I don't know what happens in the second book, but I feel like they never go back to the school. That's just my prediction, and I could be wrong, and Marie can't tell me, and she's died. She wants to be like, no, bitch, you're wrong. They show up to the outpost, and it is deserted, and I'm like, this is not good.
An outpost that is supposed to have guards 24/7.
This is not good. And then all hell breaks loose.
Wow.
Those chapters, I was reading so fast, I thought my eyeballs were about to roll out my head. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
My fucking eyes were bawling. I love Liam.
I know. This is when I bawled. I didn't bawl, but I had tears. Like, I was so upset that he died. She sent me a picture of herself. She's like sitting there, like, just like tears, like just rolling.
Because how he died.
It is so sad. And then like, she's crying. Damn, I'm a cold-hearted bitch because I'm laughing about it.
Whenever he was like, oh, she's like, why did you do that? We are friends, Violet. I'm like, oh my God, I can't take it.
No, I was very upset that Liam. I knew he was going to die.
Oh my gosh,
I knew he was going to die.
Live, okay,
I was hoping.
Don't worry, the second book gets you too.
I skipped a very important part when they went to steal the map.
Why did you skip it?
I forgot about it.
How did you forget about it?
I didn't mean to skip it. It was in my mind earlier when we were at your house, and it just re-entered.
Oh, I thought you meant you skipped it in the book. And I was like, how did you skip it when you were telling me about the map?
Freaking retard. No. We skipped that. That was another thing that I picked up on when they went to get the map and the letters were on her desk. You know what I'm talking about? The letters from the other places that were on her desk.
Oh, yeah.
Saying like they needed help. And she was just over there like, and then there's the knife is in her office. She notices the knife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
she's like,
this bitch knows something.
My mother knew.
I'm like,
and she's done nothing.
She's nothing. She only cares about her community. But really, I think she only cares about herself.
I think all she cares about is her kids.
I don't think she even cares about her kids.
I think in her sick and twisted way, she thinks that the only way that her kids will survive is if they can defend themselves. And in her sick, military, twisted way, that's what she thinks.
I don't even know that she cared for her father.
I think she did.
She seemed like a cold, heartless bitch.
Even before reading the second book, the first book, I always felt like there's something with her. I feel like there's something with her, yeah. And I never felt like it was a bad thing. I felt like she was hiding something.
Yeah, I knew she was.
As in, like, I honestly thought that she might be the one that flipped. Like, I thought that she might be like a double agent. I mean, she's not, but that's what I felt like. At least.
I don't know. I don't like her. There's something about her. She's terrible. I'm telling you, I don't think she's bad. Other than she only looks out for her own community and not all these other people who are dying.
I just feel like she is.
And they make it out like
a twisted sense of protection.
They make it out like the Griffin Riders are the ones attacking. But it's the Venom.
No. The Griffin Riders are the ones that are attacking.
The dragons?
Inside their barrier. A Venom cannot come inside their barrier. A Griffin Rider can. Oh. The Griffin Riders are attacking because they are attacking outposts to retrieve weapons.
Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
So they are attacking, but they're attacking because they're trying to retrieve weapons to protect themselves against the Venom and the sorcerers or whatever they're called.
If they would just help like Zayden's doing, they wouldn't be attacked.
Yeah, but they're only out for themselves.
I know, it's bullshit. Anyway, the whole freaking, I don't know what you call that, the war, what's supposed to be the war games, like, I was a mess. And when Day died, I don't know what I was more upset about, the dragon dying or Liam dying, and Liam wanting to be with this dragon when he died. I mean, that just fucking broke me.
I can't do it again. I can't do it again when he is screaming for his dragon. I can't. And there's nothing.
And Taryn screaming.
There's nothing physically wrong with him, but he is dying because of Day. I can't do it again. I won't do it again. Okay, I'm probably going to do it again because you got to take care of Sloan. Promise me you'll take care of Sloan. And Sloan's coming in next year. Yeah. And he's been gone away from her. And he's freaking crying. Because they didn't get fostered with the same family.
I know. It's so sad. I just wanted to. And now I feel like she's not going to be there. I don't know what happens, but I feel like she's not going to be there because she's part of the rebellion now.
Maybe.
I just
guess there's a possibility. You got a 50-50 chance of being right or wrong.
Let's get one. Oh my god. When the Venom jumps on there, I'm like, this is bad.
And then she gets stabbed with the knife.
This is even bad. And then she's bleeding black blood. And she's like, my veins are on fire. My whole inside is being scorched. I'm like, she's gonna die.
We didn't talk about her killing Jack.
Oh.
We need to talk about her killing Jack. When her
we are all over the place.
I know, but I just feel like that's worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Because Jack tried to kill her the entire time.
Well, you know what? I mean, her signet was there, but it took her love for Liam, basically.
I know, that's what made me think of it. She saved Liam.
She loves Liam. To me, like, Dane is no longer her best friend, and Liam has taken that place. She has love for Liam now in, like, the best friend way. And
it was in one of the games, again,
one of the games where Jack attacks Liam. That's the first time that Andarna lets her tap into her power.
Because Jack was just about to kill Liam, and Darna was like, use me. She can stop time. and it gave her just enough time to get from point A to point B. And then she released all hell of kinds of lightning and took a mountain down on this some bitch.
I was so glad when she killed him. She was so upset. I felt bad for her. But at the same time, I'm like, literally Zayden was like, the world is a better place without him. And then Dane's going to be like, just don't use your power. Just don't use your power. You really think they're not going to tell a lightning wielder to use her power? You're a dumbass. For more than one reason. I can't stand him. But
I'm telling you, he annoys the shit out of me.
I love when she goes to practice with one of the professors, and he's like, all right, use your lightning. And she does. And screenshot, I sent it to you. I was like, it's my favorite. This time I focus on the feeling of the power rush and not what got it there. Putting every sense and letting white hot energy.
Wait a second, you gotta go back on how that power got there.
Yeah. So she's got to think of the night with Zayden that they had. The incredible
who brought it up?
Karen's like, think about how you used your power last night or whatever it was. And she's like, oh. And then
shut up, Taryn.
Zayden starts sending memories.
Yes, his memories of her.
And she gets hot. I would love to see inside Gary how he sees me, because I don't see myself in that way. I need to see in his head. That would be awesome.
But he tells you, he's like, I just couldn't control myself when I hit it from the back. I saw your back and I got off. Your man tells you.
I forgot about that. He did say that. I was like, why did you go so fast? And he's like, oh, just having you from behind.
I saw your back and it just happened.
I was like, what the hell? Get it together. Nobody wants somebody to last 30 seconds.
Yeah, but see, your man tells you.
Dang.
Well, that was like, later on in the session.
He's so jokey about it. Like
you're just now bringing him out of his sexual shell, okay? You gotta give him time.
I need him to be like, I don't know. I just need him to look at me in a serious way. I don't want him to look at me and say, I want to park my wiener in your garage. That doesn't turn me on.
Oh, what about, will you be the bun to my hot dog?
I can't take him seriously. Like, tell me. I need him to be like, I don't know, talk dirty in a non-joking way. I just need him to be serious. It doesn't turn me on when he says things like that. It makes me laugh. And I love that he can make me laugh. Especially when I'm pissed off. Whatever. Anyway, talk to me like Zayden talks to Violet.
Oh my gosh.
Because you'd be freaking wet. Just.
It is the way.
Just with words.
It's the way he is with people and the way he is with her. And the way, how he loves. It's how he loves.
What were we talking about before that? Oh, her wielding powers. Her wielding her signet power. Yeah. So Zayden just goes ahead and sends his memories to her. Right? And she pulls all this power from Taryn and she releases it, and lightning strikes more than a mile away. And she says, well, look at that. I am a certified badass. And that just...
Taryn's response to her, though. Do you have that in there?
Oh,
no, it's the professor. Now maybe you can work on aiming it this time.
Which she cannot name. Bless her. For nothing. Not even when she's so stressed out during the war. But anyway, yeah. Her bleeding the black blood. I'm like, this is not good. And then Zayden's like, I know where I can take her, but she's going to be...
Oh, they were saying you can't.
You can't take her there. And he's like, I have to. So there's nowhere else to go. So they take her, and I didn't know where. Did you think anything about where they were taking her? I was just like, they've got to be. No. He never talks about his mom dying, so I'm like, maybe they're taking her to his mom, and that's not where they go, but to Brennan, and he mends her, and Brennan is alive. He must have faked his death so that he could be a part of the freaking revolution, and
it ends. It
just ends there.
Ends
with welcome to the revolution, Violet.
She goes, Brennan?
Can you imagine what she felt? Seeing her brother, who she thought was dead for how many years? 6 years or more?
My immediate emotion would be anger.
Oh, yeah.
Immediate anger.
Oh, yeah.
You son of a bitch. Because they burn all their belongings
I know.
when someone dies. Every bit of it gets burned
crazy.
as a sacrifice. I'm like, that's what? They just erase every bit of them.
I didn't see that coming. I never thought that he would have lived.
I kind of somewhat, just a little bit,
Yeah.
because the professor said that whatever their god is, would not have liked someone to have that power to bring back someone. You know, his best friend or whatever, his rider. Which makes me think, does
Taryn pick her because he knew Brennan was alive?
Yes, but no, I didn't think of that. I was thinking, does that mean, I didn't even think about that. Does that mean that Violet has the power to bring back life?
I mean, electricity restarts the heart. I had that thought too. I was like, try to strike the dragon and see if it
What
comes
was
back.
his signet? The other guy that brought Brennan back. I can't remember what his was.
I didn't think he
didn't
brought
have
him
the same.
back. He had the power to do.
He obviously had to have brought him back unless he faked his death.
I feel like he faked his death.
Well, if he didn't fake his death, then the rider, I can't remember what signet he had, even had been able to bring him back. It says in that book, but I can't remember.
What signet would you want?
Oh, that's a good question.
I've been wanting to ask it this whole time.
Oh my goodness. I like the truth signet. I like how the Venom are able to adjust their fighting stances to mirror yours, so they can fight against you.
They can draw power from you too.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be a siphon. I like the idea of being invisible. So I like truth, I like invisibility, and I like the being able to adjust your fighting stance.
The astral projection is badass.
Yeah.
That is badass.
And to be able to bring,
to not conjure, but whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But that one's pretty cool too.
I feel like Zayden's is awesome.
Shadows?
Like, he knows what goes on in the shadows, and he can wield shadows to, and they like are used. He can basically just pick things up and move them, and then use it as a shield.
So,
it's so ambidextrous, whatever you want to say.
Zayden's dragon, Sigale, her previous rider was Zayden's
Grandfather.
You know they're not supposed to allow them to have a first line rider. So how did he get away with that?
You mean Zayden can't be first line because he was a part of the rebellion?
No, Zayden's grandfather. That's first generation.
Yeah,
that was his grandfather, a first descendant. Your first descendant's not supposed to be the rider of the same dragon because it can amplify or make you go crazy. So how can he do that?
Where was this in the book?
It says it in the book. Did I jump to the second one?
I don't know, because I don't remember that. I remember it mentioning his grandfather, but I don't remember it saying anything else. And I could have missed it. It could have been when I was listening to the audiobook and not following along.
Well, it might have been in the second book, but either the first or the second book. If it's in the second book, I'm ruining it for you. Sigale's last rider was Zayden's grandfather, which is a first descendant down the same line. They have it down as his uncle, but it's his grandfather, and he only told Violet because they have it down as his uncle. So just keep that in mind.
I feel like that has to be in the second book because I don't remember that.
Okay, keep that in mind.
I could be wrong, but
Keep
I
that
don't
in
remember
mind.
that.
Stay tuned for next week.
Yes. Okay. So overall, loved this freaking book.
As your first
fantasy, it did not let me down. I thought it was going to, and then it just
would you read? Obviously, you're going to read the rest of the series, but would you read more fantasy after reading this one?
I already want to read Powerless after reading this. I don't even know. I didn't know what this was about. I knew it was about dragons, but I had no idea what it was about. Nothing. I don't read the back of it. I used to, and now I'm just like, oh, fuck it, I'll read it. It's worked out well for me so far, since we started doing that. I like being surprised, I guess. I am a little confused in the beginning, because I have no idea what it's about. I'm just like trying to pick up the pieces.
If the picture of the book will entice me to read it.
I do, in fact, judge a book by its cover.
Same.
I do, in fact.
If you have a pretty cover and it looks intriguing, 90% of the time I'm probably going to read it.
I mean, Fourth Wing, Fly or Die. Sign me up. Before I read this, I would have been like, fantasy, love it. Now I want to read Power Life. In February, we're just going to try and focus on some lucky hot romance. And then, well, this is a long ways from now, but in October, we're going to do all dark romance. We're going to need some therapy after that month. We're going to be so dark. It's going to be great. Anyway, hope this was not too confusing. Wait, what? Stop giving me spoiler alert! You bitch! Stop ruining things for me! I don't like spoilers. Don't. Fuck. Anyways, guys, next week... Are you ready to read the second one? Yeah. And if we need more structure to the next podcast, let us know, because we totally winged it on this one. Unintended. Unintended. We totally winged it on this one, so if it was too confusing or we jumped too much, just let us know. We wanted to do one podcast where we had no structure. We just talked about it like we would talk about it with each other and not on the podcast.
Now, I will say I'm the one that got her to do this one just because it's her first fantasy and I wanted her to have her true reaction to it instead of trying to focus on a guideline. Yeah. I do think our next ones probably need to be guidelined.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. What you enjoy more. Organized or not. I know we jump around a little in the others, but organized or not, let us know. Anyways, have a good one. We'll see you next week. Bye.